onto the fifth sheet, where we're going to introduce the concept of arrays. Now an array, you might know from stats or maths or something, is just a bunch of numbers together. So here we've got an array. We're given a matrix of returns here. So we're given a bunch of companies and their returns from 1997 to 2005, and the 30 stocks, and we want to calculate the average return for each stock. Now we could do this manually one by one, so we could go equals average, application.average, and do for that cell, and then go application.average for that cell, application.average. But arrays can be really helpful because they can do it for all 30 stocks all at the same time, which saves lots of time when you're doing it for a number of stocks. So we're creating another subroutine. I'll just scroll down a little bit. We're creating another subroutine. We're calling it subroutine average stocks. And we have to define a variable x. Now x is our array. X is this whole array here. That's everything in the blue there. Now there's 30 stocks. Now with arrays, in brackets you need to define how big the array is going to be. So x to the 30 is going to be 30 different cells. And you have to define it as double. Now this double bit indicates that it's not just one cell, it's two-dimensional, if that makes sense. It's a whole bunch of cells across, so that makes it double because it's that two-dimensional, not one-dimensional, just one cell. Alright, now we're going to build a for loop, and we're going to say for I, and that's going to be the stock number, for I equals 1 to 30, so from cell 1 to cell 30, get x I minus 1. Now the reason we have to do I minus 1 is because we have to actually start it. We're doing it from cell 1 to 30, but we actually want to start it at 0, I minus 1, because that's where Excel will see it. Excel will see it as that first cell there being 0, cell 0. Okay, so for I minus 1, so starting at 0, application.average, apply to application.average to that range. Now what's the range? The range is B7 all the way to AE15. So that's the total matrix of all the returns. So B7 to AE15. And make, sorry, I forgot to put brackets, and make that column I. So we're doing it for every single column. So this is saying for x equals that, average out in that range and average it out for each column. So from column 0 to column 29 effectively. That's why it's I minus 1 again. Alright, so do that for every column. So for xi, so it'll start at column 0, which is here, and it'll average out all those numbers there, and then it'll move on to column 1 according to Excel, which will be here, then column 2, then column 3. It'll do it for each column. That's what I is, defining the column number or the stock number. So once it's done that, then you can tell it where to enter the number. So we want to enter it into from B19 all the way across to AE19. That's where we want the answers to be. So B19 to AE19. And that's x. So we want this x here, that's calculating x, and then in B19 to AE19, enter that x value into those cells. So that's how it works. So it's creating a for loop to calculate the average in every single column in that whole range there, and then it's doing it for each column by doing next column. So do it for each column, and then once it's calculated them all, it's entering them in that range B19 to AE19, which is where we want to put the answers to x. So let's run this macro. average stocks. And there you go. It's entered all the averages in for all those 30 stocks.